Speaker Mike Johnson has some real trouble with his big, beautiful bill getting it passed. He has a narrow margin. The Republican Party is completely falling apart because everyone wants three major different things. Some want lower taxes. Some want Trump's giveaways, and he's promising, lots of freebies and lots of giveaways also. And some want to pay down the debt. All of them are good. You can't have all of them at once. Everyone's not staying united. And there's the SALT deduction where they're angry that Trump is removing the ability for New York and LA. Many of my conservative friends are there going, hey, what do you mean I can't deduct my outrageous California state taxes from my federal taxes? Everyone's angry. And I'm going on to Twitter, and there is no good news for Mike Johnson. He has the worst job in the world. And I think he's great. And no one agrees with me. Welcome to Doug in Exile as we go over the news on the failure that is the big, beautiful bill. Remember, it's not just a failure. It's not Mike Johnson's failure. It's Trump's failure. I don't mean it's his fault. I mean, if he doesn't get this financial agenda through, you're not going to get stuff. This is the number one thing that we need to pass. Republican Party, they're going to hand Trump a great big loss. Here's NBC News. Speaker Mike Johnson's bluff calling strategy reaches its limit. House Speaker Mike Johnson's run of relative smooth sailing came to an abrupt end Friday. That's yesterday, when he faced his first tangible setback on a massive party line bill for President Donald Trump's agenda, a failed vote in the House Budget Committee. Until now, Johnson had been successful at steering the plan through the narrowly divided House. There was the original budget framework that the House adopted in February, followed by the Senate-approved blueprint that the lower chamber passed in April. Despite strong reservations from the hardliners in Johnson's conference, that allowed the House to actually begin drafting the specifics of the legislation. And this week, Johnson and his leadership team managed to get 11 House committees to approve their portions of the border package. So things like the Farm Committee, and they each separately have to approve. You have to get through each chunk of them. It's why it's so impossible to get a budget passed. The legislation was then sent to the Budget Committee on the assumption that some revisions would be still needed to send it to the full chamber next week ahead of Johnson's Memorial Day weekend deadline. Throughout the process, Johnson often called bluff on the persistent gripes of a group of far-right spending hawks, forcing them to take votes and assuming they would not be willing to stand in the way of Trump's agenda. Those are the people that oppose this thing on the right. It's a strategy that proved successful time and time again. But on Friday, 4 conservatives on the Budget Committee had enough, following through on their pledge to block the measure on the House floor. Now comes the moment of truth, the limits of the slim House Republican majority, where the party has just 3 votes to spare, are about to test Johnson's prowess like never before. The hardliners are demanding the spending cuts to Medicaid, clean energy funding, and other programs take effect sooner. So these are like the tax benefit for windmills and stuff like that. They want it to come before 2030, which I think they're correct on that. That means imposing political pain on vulnerable GOP lawmakers ahead of the next presidential election. So that means guys that are in like California and New York, they're going to be like, we're going to have to go hard against environmentalism. And then their squishy middle Republicans that represent them may not vote for them, and they may get primaried, or they may lose the election in 2026. You go, big deal. Look, if we did not win the New York 4 House seats right now, we would not have the Speaker of the House gavel. It's not like, oh, purity, just go purity and just bomb it all apart. No, you can lose a majority, and then then your right-wing guys won't be deciding the budget. It'll be the Democrats deciding the budget. It's a mess. It's a huge mess, this narrow margin. Here's the SALT deduction they're talking about. Okay, I'm going to go to the next story here. House Republicans blocked Trump's big, beautiful bill in major setback. Right-wing lawmakers say president's bill centered on tax cuts and funding deportations doesn't make enough cuts. These are the fiscal guys. Right-wing lawmakers derailed Trump's signature legislation in the House of Representatives on Friday, preventing the passage through a key committee and throwing into question whether Republicans can coalesce around a massive bill. The parties spent weeks negotiating measure dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill that would extend tax cuts enacted during Trump's first term, fund mass deportations of undocumented immigrants, and temporarily make good on campaign promises to end taxation of tips and overtime. To offset its costs, Republicans have proposed cuts to federal safety net, including Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. I can explain a lot of that. I don't believe it's really a cut to Medicaid, but it's a long story. Quote, this bill falls profoundly short. It does not do what it says with respect to deficit. It says Chip Roy, that's a longtime guy who's lining up as one of Trump's enemies. I also like Chip Roy too, but these hardliners is a big problem. He opposed the bill alongside fellow Freedom Caucus members Andrew Clyde of Georgia, John Breachine of Oklahoma, and Ralph Norman of South Carolina. That's 4. Pennsylvania's Lloyd Smucker initially voted to advance the bill, then changed his vote to no at the last minute, which he said was a procedural maneuver to allow the bill to be reconsidered in the future. The setbacks raises the stakes for House Speaker Mike Johnson, who had set a goal of Memorial Day. This is why it is important. Trump has demonized Chip Roy, and now Trump needs a friend in Chip Roy. And Chip Roy is going like, what do I have to gain in supporting Trump? Trump just beats the crap out of me anyways. Republicans must unite behind the one big beautiful bill the president wrote on Truth Social. We don't need grandstanders, is what he's calling Chip Roy. And the Republican Party, stop talking and get it done, all caps. Obviously, this is more complicated than that, but that's the big picture of what the Americans sent these people to Congress to do. Support Trump's bill. I don't know if Mike Johnson's going to get his way. Republican hardliners defy Trump. Johnson, as mega bill, fails to advance. A vote on the mega bill aimed at advancing President Trump's agenda failed in the House Budget Committee Friday afternoon amid objections from hardliners, halting the bill's progress in the committee. Andrew Coyle, Breachin, Lloyd Smucker, Ralph Norman, and Chip Roy all voted against clearing the bill out of committee, defying Trump and Speaker Mike Johnson. Here's Newsweek. Mike Johnson has mountain to climb to pass the GOP bill. There's our Mike Johnson there looking really frustrated. This is his unforced error. I'm going to go to Twitter real quick. You can trust me because I'm a huge fan of Mike Johnson. So when I tell you this is a bad move, this is a bad move where he's trying to say they need to be able to make stock investments because they're paid so little. These guys have not had a raise since 2009.
The salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year.
It's only fair because you're doing passing 30% less bills than you did back then.
It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family.
Okay, I agree that that's rational, but man, it's the wrong time. You're not going to get a lot of sympathy with how low your ratings are from the MAGA people. Most people cannot afford to be in the stock market. Most of your constituents, middle class, lower class. So now you're saying give poor us, when you guys have access, and you know this, to tens of millions of dollars in pork and favors that all of you guys regularly get. That's just part of the game. But yeah, I don't really have a problem with them making stock investments. I have a problem with what's illegal for everyone. That's insider trading. If you know something's coming in a bill like Nancy Pelosi and you either buy or sell stocks, and by the way, Margie Taylor Greene is guilty of this too. She has one of the more successful stock portfolios, Margie Taylor Greene. It looks fishy. It looks like you're starting to pass laws and move things around to benefit your own stock portfolio, which is illegal. I'm okay with them owning stock. I'm okay with them investing. I'm against everyone doing something illegal. I think we can all agree on that. So that's where we're at on the big, beautiful bill. It's in big, beautiful trouble right now because of 4 hardliners. Trump needs to go make friends with Chip Roy, and Chip Roy needs to go be buddy-buddy with him and go, you know what? You got a majority vote a major support by the American people, and I'm not going to play pure hardliner and try and come out as some big conservative superhero grandstanding. So everyone's got to chill. You got to pass this budget. If it fails, but I'm giving you guys an update. I'll let you guys know if anything happens over the weekend. Again, I'm working today. It's Saturday. I'm going to do 4 videos. 8 hours I work today. I should be over there spending time with my family. I'm working 8 hours today because I love putting on a show for my people and making sure that you stay informed. You guys are the greatest audience. You make me feel really good. I see all your comments. I have the nicest audience in the world. So I appreciate you guys. I'm Doug in Exile.